Welcome, my friends. Please, sit down and get comfortable. Imagine we are sitting around a warm campfire. The stars are bright above us. Tonight, I want to tell you a story about something very simple. It is something you probably have in your kitchen right now. It is the story of the banana. But my friends, have you ever stopped to wonder, where did this fruit truly come from? Before it was in your grocery store, and before it was in your breakfast bowl, the banana had a secret life. Let's go back, far back, about 10,000 years ago. We are in the deep, green jungles of Southeast Asia, places like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. In those days, the banana was not the sweet, yellow snack we know today. Imagine a small green fruit. If you bit into it, you would find something strange. It was filled with hard black seeds. They were as hard as small stones. You could not really eat the fruit easily. It was a wild thing of the jungle. But then something amazing happened. Ancient farmers noticed something special. Every once in a while, a banana tree would grow a fruit without seeds. These mutant bananas were soft. They were sweet. They were easy to eat. These early humans became the first scientists. They didn't use labs, but they used their hands and their hearts. They took pieces of these special trees and planted them again. You see, bananas don't grow from seeds like apples do. They grow from suckers, which are like little babies growing from the side of the parent plant. By planting these, humans saved the sweet banana from the wild jungle. For a long time, the banana remained a secret of the forest. It was a local treasure. People used the leaves for roofs. They used the fibers for clothes, and they ate the fruit for energy. It was a humble beginning for a fruit that would one day travel the entire world. But the journey was only just starting. Are you ready to see where it went next? Now let's watch as our story moves across the map. Imagine the ancient world. There were no planes or fast cars. There were only long, dusty roads and wooden ships. As people traveled, they took the banana with them. It was the perfect travel food. It had its own packaging, the peel. Around 2,000 years ago, the banana began to travel west. It moved from Southeast Asia toward India. In India, people loved it. They thought it was a holy fruit. Even the famous leader Alexander the Great saw bananas when he arrived in India. Imagine his surprise. He had never seen such a strange, curved fruit. From India, Arab traders carried the banana even further. They took it to the Middle East and then down into Africa. This is where we get the name banana. In West Africa, there was a word, banana. Some say it comes from the Arabic word banan, which means finger. If you look at a bunch of bananas, they do look like a hand with many fingers, don't they? In Africa, the banana found a new home. The climate was hot and wet, just like the jungle. It grew so well that it became a staple food. This means it was a food that people ate every single day to stay alive. For hundreds of years, the banana was a quiet traveler. It moved slowly from village to village. It changed as it moved. People found different types. Some were red, some were purple, and some were meant for cooking instead of eating raw. By the year 1400, the banana reached the Canary Islands near Africa. It was waiting there, growing under the sun, for the next big chapter of human history. What if I told you that a single fruit could help change the history of an entire continent? Let's look at the great age of exploration. The year is 1492. European explorers are sailing across the dark, wide Atlantic Ocean. They are looking for a new path to Asia. Instead, they find a new world, the Americas. But the explorers didn't just find new things. They brought things with them. They brought horses, they brought coffee, and they brought the banana. In 1516, a Spanish priest named Tomás de Berlanga carried banana plants from the Canary Islands to the island of Hispaniola. Today, we call that island Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Imagine the priest holding a small green plant. He hoped it would grow in this new land. He was right. The banana loved the Caribbean. It loved the islands of Jamaica and Cuba. Soon, the banana spread to Central and South America. For the people living there, the banana was a gift. It grew very fast. It gave a lot of food for very little work. However, for a long time, people in North America and Europe still didn't know what a banana was. Can you imagine that? To them, the banana was an exotic mystery. In the mid-1800s, a few bananas finally arrived in cities like New York and London. But there was a big problem. Bananas ripen very quickly. By the time a ship arrived from the Caribbean, the bananas were usually brown and mushy. They were a luxury for the rich. Some people even ate them with a knife and fork. But then, technology changed everything. Faster ships were built. Better ways to keep things cool, refrigeration, were invented. Suddenly, the banana wasn't just a tropical secret anymore. It was ready to become a global superstar. But as the banana became more popular, the world began to change in ways that were not always sweet. Businessmen saw the banana and didn't just see a fruit. They saw gold. They saw power. And that, my friends, is where our story takes a darker turn. Let's step into the late 1800s. This is the era of the Banana Kings. Two American companies became incredibly powerful: the United Fruit Company and the Standard Fruit Company. These companies wanted to sell bananas to everyone in the United States and Europe. To do this, they bought huge amounts of land in countries like Guatemala, Honduras, and Costa Rica. But they didn't just buy land. They built railroads, they built telegraph lines, they built hospitals and schools. This sounds good, right? Well, there was a catch. These companies became so powerful that they controlled the governments of these small countries. Have you ever heard the term Banana Republic? This is where that name comes from. It describes a country where a foreign company has more power than the government. The companies paid very little in taxes. They often treated the workers very poorly. If a government tried to change the rules, the fruit companies would use their money, and sometimes even the American military, to change the government. It was a time of great sadness for many people in Central America. They worked in the hot sun for many hours. They lived in houses owned by the company. They bought food from stores owned by the company. The companies also did something else. They decided that they would only grow one kind of banana. They wanted every banana to look exactly the same and taste exactly the same. This variety was called the Gros Michel, or Big Mike. The Gros Michel was a wonderful banana. It was large. It had a thick skin so it didn't bruise during travel. And most importantly, people said it tasted delicious, much sweeter than the bananas we eat today. The banana empires were built on the Big Mike. For decades, millions and millions of these bananas were shipped across the sea. The companies were making billions of dollars. But my friends, there is a danger in growing only one thing. When you have a monoculture, which means growing only one crop, you are waiting for a disaster. And in the early 1900s, that disaster arrived. It was a tiny, invisible enemy that lived in the dirt. It was coming for the Big Mike, and it was going to change the world forever. Imagine a farmer walking through his beautiful banana plantation. One day, he notices a leaf turning yellow. Then the leaf turns brown and dies. Soon, the whole tree collapses. The farmer looks at his other trees. They are dying too. This was the Panama disease. It was a fungus, a type of germ, that lived in the soil. It entered the roots of the banana tree and choked it from the inside. Because every Big Mike banana was a clone, meaning they were all genetically identical, if the disease could kill one tree, it could kill every tree. There was no cure. Chemicals didn't work. Burning the trees didn't work. The fungus stayed in the soil for decades. The powerful fruit companies were in a panic. Their banana empire was crumbling. By the 1950s, the Big Mike was almost extinct. It was disappearing from the world. Think about that for a moment. Imagine if tomorrow all the apples in the world just disappeared. That is what happened to the banana people loved. But the companies had a secret plan. They found another variety of banana in a greenhouse in England. It was called the Cavendish. The Cavendish was smaller than the Big Mike. It was more delicate. It bruised easily. Honestly, the companies didn't like it at first. They thought it was too small and too ugly. But the Cavendish had one very important quality. It could survive the Panama disease. So the companies made a huge change. They chopped down the dying Big Mike trees and planted millions of Cavendish trees. They had to change the way they shipped the fruit. They had to put them in cardboard boxes so they wouldn't get hurt. They had to teach people to like this new banana. By the 1960s, the Big Mike was gone. The Cavendish became the new king of the grocery store. When you go to the store today, every yellow banana you see is a Cavendish. It is the survivor of a great war against a silent enemy. But did we learn our lesson? Let's see how this new banana became a part of our daily lives. Let's fast forward to the middle of the 20th century. The banana had survived its greatest scare. Now it was time for it to become the most popular fruit in the world. Have you ever wondered why bananas are so cheap? Even today, they are often the cheapest item in the produce section. This happened because of incredible marketing. The fruit companies created characters like Miss Chiquita. They wrote catchy songs. They told mothers that bananas were the perfect food for babies because they were soft and healthy. The companies also perfected the cold chain. This is a series of refrigerated ships, trucks, and warehouses. Imagine a banana's journey. It is picked while it is still green and hard in Costa Rica. It travels in a cold ship across the ocean. When it reaches your city, it goes into a ripening room. In this room, workers use a special gas, ethylene, to tell the banana it is time to turn yellow. It's like a magic trick. The banana turns from green to yellow just as it reaches your store. Because of this system, the banana stopped being an exotic fruit. It became everyday. In the United States and Europe, the banana became a symbol of health. It was the perfect snack for athletes. It was the best thing to put on cereal. In many ways, the banana became a victim of its own success. We started to take it for granted. We forgot about the jungles, the banana republics, and the invisible fungus in the soil. We see them in every cartoon. We see them in every lunchbox. We don't even think about where they come from anymore. But, my friends, our story is not over. History has a way of repeating itself. Today, the banana is facing a new set of problems. As we sit here by our fire, we must ask, will the banana we love today still be here tomorrow? Or is the Cavendish about to follow the Big Mike into the history books? Now, let's talk about the world we live in right now. It is a world of great technology, but also great challenges. Remember the Panama disease, the one that killed the Big Mike? Well, it has returned. Scientists call this new version Tropical Race 4, or TR4. For many years, TR4 was only in Asia, but recently it has traveled. It has been found in Australia, Africa, and now South America. Our friend, the Cavendish banana, has no defense against TR4. It is just as vulnerable as the Big Mike was 100 years ago. This is the danger of monoculture once again. We are growing only one type of banana for the whole world. If TR4 spreads, the Cavendish could disappear too. But that is not the only challenge. Think about the environment. Growing millions of bananas requires a lot of water and a lot of chemicals. These chemicals can hurt the soil and the people who work in the fields. And what about those people? Even today, many workers on banana plantations are paid very little. They work in difficult conditions to make sure our bananas stay cheap. As consumers, we have a choice. Have you ever seen a fair trade sticker on a banana? This sticker means that the farmers were paid a fair price. It means the environment was treated with more respect. It is a small way we can help the banana have a better future. But we also need more than just stickers. We need science. We need to find a way to save the banana from the diseases that want to destroy it. The search for the banana of tomorrow is happening right now in labs and fields all over the world. It is a race against time. Are you curious about what the future looks like? Let's meet the people who are trying to save our favorite fruit. Imagine a scientist in a white coat. Now, imagine a farmer with dirty hands. These two people are working together to save the banana. They are looking for a super banana. What would a super banana look like? It would be delicious, of course. It would be strong enough to travel across the ocean. But most importantly, it would be resistant. This means it could fight off the Panama disease. Some scientists are using gene editing. They are looking at the DNA of the banana, the tiny instructions that tell the plant how to grow. They are trying to turn on the parts of the DNA that can fight disease. Other scientists are going back to the beginning. They are going back to the jungles of Southeast Asia. They are looking for wild bananas. Remember those bananas with the hard seeds? Those wild plants have lived in the jungle for thousands of years. They are very tough. By crossing these wild, tough bananas with our sweet, soft bananas, farmers hope to create a new variety. It is a slow process. It can take years to grow a new type of tree and see if the fruit is good. There is also a new idea: diversity. Instead of only eating the Cavendish, what if we started eating other kinds of bananas? In some parts of the world, people eat apple bananas that taste like citrus. They eat red bananas that are creamy and sweet. They eat plantains that are starchy and perfect for frying. If we learn to love many different kinds of bananas, the disease cannot kill them all. The future of the banana is in our hands and in our mouths. By being open to new types of fruit, we can help protect the banana for the next generation. Our journey is almost at its end. We have traveled from the ancient jungles to the modern lab. What have we learned about this simple fruit? My friends, our campfire is starting to burn low. We have traveled 10,000 years tonight. We saw the banana as a wild jungle fruit with seeds like stones. We saw it travel on ancient ships to Africa and the Middle East. We saw it cross the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. We saw the rise of powerful empires and the tragedy of the banana republics. We even saw a great extinction when the Big Mike banana disappeared from our tables. It is incredible, isn't it? Such a big, complex history for such a simple yellow fruit. The banana is more than just a snack. It is a mirror of our human history. It shows our curiosity, our greed, our intelligence, and our resilience. It reminds us that we are all connected. The banana in your hand connects you to a farmer in Ecuador, a scientist in Australia, and an ancient ancestor in the jungles of Papua New Guinea. The next time you peel a banana, I want you to stop for a moment. Look at its bright yellow skin. Think about its long journey. Think about the thousands of people who worked to bring it to you. The story of the banana is a story of survival. It has faced diseases, wars, and storms. And yet, it is still here. It is still sweet. It is still a gift from the earth. As we leave our campfire tonight, Let's carry that sense of wonder with us. The world is full of amazing stories, hidden in the simplest things. Thank you for listening to the story of the banana. I hope it made your world a little bit sweeter tonight. Sleep well, my friends, and remember, there is history in every bite.